everybody. I'm Jody Vance. Welcome to First Glance with Jody Vance. And this really is true to the title of this podcast. If you are a regular viewer, I think you might be riding right along with me and not really knowing much about what it's like to actually launch a business and launch that stock listing piece of the puzzle. Our guest is the CFO of Wellfield Technologies Incorporated. Brian Locke is on the other end of our Zoom call. Brian, nice to meet you.
You too. Thanks for having me.
So I want to get into the sort of where you are right now and where you're headed with Wellfield Technologies. But first, let's give a little bit of background. I know people like to jot down right at the get-go when they're watching or listening to this podcast is the stock symbol. It's WFLD, Wellfield, W, F as in Frank, L as in Larry, D as in David on the TSX Venture Exchange. What were the products that ultimately became Wellfield? Give us a little bit of history and backstory about you, your group, and your product.
Sure. Yeah. So Wellfield's actually what I think is an interesting and an exciting combination of two different businesses that live in different areas of the blockchain or decentralized finance sector. We started building our products about 4 years ago now, and had previously raised money privately in an effort to build relatively in quiet, and are at a stage now where we're ready to come out and show the world what we've built and then get the larger communities involved and leverage what I think is an untapped opportunity for our sector in the public markets.
Okay, well, now tell me what the untapped sector is.
Sure. So I think to understand Wellfield, it would be important or maybe worthwhile to understand what the decentralized finance ecosystem looks like. Please. And so when people think about the internet as an example, we think about it as like the browsers on our phone or the apps, right? But really the browsers on our phone connect us to like undersea cables that connect countries, fiber optic that runs through our neighborhood, and then the cloud, for example. And just like the internet, decentralized finance has different layers to it as well. Most people are familiar with the blockchain. Bitcoin and Ethereum are the most popular public blockchains and have been around for the longest time. Blockchains really are where assets are created and where transactions are settled and custody and security takes place. But blockchains themselves don't create financial products. And so one of the brands that Wellfield owns is called Seamless. And it creates products, smart contracts on the next layer, the protocol layer. And then finally, just like the internet has a browser, the application layer of decentralized finance is where the second business in this combination exists in MoneyClick.
So in speaking like that, okay, pardon my novice, I guess here. I'm Sure. One of those people, I was a late adapter to many things because I'm not tech savvy per se, but I embrace it when it works for me. And I remember being really hesitant about using my credit card on the internet. That's when we called it the internet. Like back when it was like, oh, I don't know about this scary place. And now I have no problem hitting PayPal or setting myself up on my Amazon Prime or whatever that functionality is, having that virtual wallet. When I look at Wellfield Technologies Inc., I kind of feel like you're going to help me understand that decentralized finance piece where I've really struggled, honestly, Brian.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a new and sometimes scary world, but it's a maturing space. And as the space matures, well, just like browsers back in the day, they were really difficult to use. A lot of them failed because of their poor user experiences. We see decentralized finance in the blockchain space evolving very quickly over time as well. But you bring up a good point that like digital payments are not new, right? PayPal, tapping in store, etc., Interact e-transfer have been around for a very long time. They create good user experiences for the most part. And they have gotten, like digital payments have gotten very good because of the internet. And, but one of the things that's cool, that at least that I think is cool from a techie perspective about blockchain and decentralized finance is that, so the internet really has disrupted a lot of industries and disintermediated or removed a lot of established brands and companies. So I think of Blockbuster was replaced by Netflix, right? And Uber replaced the taxis, and Amazon redefined commerce. And but the internet really hasn't been able to disrupt the financial world. And we still rely on the PayPals of the world to provide a service to us so that we can do anything with our money. We really can't do anything with our money right now without a company helping us do that. And so the internet, the power of the internet and the blockchain combined creates now an opportunity for finance to remove some very long established, I think, intermediaries and allow people to have control of their money and do what they want without requiring someone to provide the service directly for them. So,
and take a percentage off the top for every transaction that you might make.
Yeah, there are significant economic rents that these established institutions charged, and we've seen a lot of their margins get squeezed over time. But in addition to just fees off the top, which everyone for good reason is sensitive to, there's a lot of switching costs and frictions to move around the space that exists today. And one of the cool things about decentralized finance, in addition to giving us control and absolute freedom over our money and reducing fees, is it gives us flexibility to create our own terms when it comes to our money.
So this is a next level future evolution of those who didn't trust the bank enough to put their money in the bank and kept it in their mattress. Now you've got your Wellfield Technologies Inc. ability, like it's your own personal entity.
Yes. So DeFi is a large ecosystem, and we cannot and are not trying to provide all of the solutions for everyone in one wrapped up package. But there's I don't know if we want to get into this kind of detail, but there's a term called money Legos in DeFi, which is a really cool idea that whereas if I want a financial product or service, a company has to create a full package for me to do that. And in the new internet of money, developers now who want to provide applications for users can pick and choose from the best technologies that live on the blockchain to give users like a customized experience, really.
For sure, you're talking to a mom, so you had me at Lego. I get to pick the pieces that I want. I don't need to build a Millennium Falcon if I only need a fighter, right?
Yes, yeah. And so Wellfield, what we're trying to do is, really just like the internet in the early days, it had significant infrastructure gaps. Like Netflix today can stream high resolution video to our phone, right? But when they started in 1997, the best the internet could do for them was online ordering to ship DVDs in the mail, right? And so Netflix was limited by the infrastructure and capacity of the internet. And the same exists for DeFi today. In decentralized finance, there are infrastructure gaps. And because of those gaps, there are limitations on what is possible for end users. And so with the Seamless brand, we are launching specific products and services that fill in a lot of those critical gaps, and to create, I think, a strong foundation for DeFi to evolve quickly in the next couple of years.
So I like this. So to correct my analogy of the mattress to being able to control all of your finances in a DeFi world, we're at the building block stage, which leads us to why Wellfield Technologies Inc., or WFLD on the TSX Venture Exchange, is launching. How will this unfold as you literally venture into this? What does this look like at this stage, and where are you going in the days and weeks and months from now as a company? Yeah.
So Wellfield, the stock, will be listed on the TSX Venture Exchange under the ticker WFLD. We're anticipating November 30th as the launch date. And the timing for us going public now is simply because we're ready to show the world what we've built, and we're ready to commercialize and release products to end users. And so it's going to be an interesting journey for us, because we actually took a different route than most of the companies in our sector. So a lot of the companies that are building deep technology so hardcore infrastructure on DeFi, they have typically raised money from venture capitalists, or they have sold off tokens for their project or done ICOs. In 2017 and 18, there was a big ICO boom, and we think that there are many good reasons to take the public markets route, especially since the products that we're trying to build and the infrastructure that we're creating is meant to bring DeFi to the mainstream world, as opposed to servicing only the hardcore speculators who want to risk their money on tokens, for example. So like partnering with and working with and building in front of the public markets is I think going to be something that we look back and we'll be happy with the decision we made. So
I was going to say celebrate is the word I think you're looking for. When you look back, you'll celebrate it. No problem. No, I think it's really interesting. Honestly, we're with Brian Locke. He's the Chief Financial Officer of Wellfield Technologies, Inc. And as mentioned, the stock listing launching the expectation November 30th. So depending on whether you're watching or listening, you can either look ahead to that or look at it historically and follow along. The symbol is WFLD. And Brian, I want to learn a little bit more about who you are and who your founders and the structure of your company. Where is everyone? What do they bring to the table? Give me just a little synopsis of who are the people behind this stock symbol.
Sure. Hi, I'm Brian. I'm the Chief Financial Officer of Wellfield. I was formerly an accountant for 10 years prior to joining MoneyClip, actually, the application side of the Wellfield business. Drank the Bitcoin Kool-Aid a long time ago, got my designation and was looking for an opportunity to get into this space, and was recruited through friends of a friend from a team based out of Israel. So the rest of the leadership team, Levi Cohen, Hanan Steinhardt, and Yishai Steinhardt, are Israelis who live in Israel and California, and are a very experienced leadership team who have built, scaled, and sold a good number of companies in some very cutting edge industries over the last couple of decades. In addition to them, I think we have an exciting governance team as well. Mark Lustig is a key partner of ours and the chairman of the board. For people who are familiar with the cannabis space, he was the founder of what started off as Canna Royalty, rebranded to Origin House, and was, I think, if not the first, one of the first $1 billion sales in the public markets for cannabis. And then we have also some very special to me independent board members in Neil Sample, who is a very accomplished executive in the technology space in the US. And then Christy Henderson, who provides some audit and governance expertise for us on different boards in Canada as well. So,
and you're in Canada?
And I am in Canada as well, yeah. Born and raised in the GTA, was living in the city. After my first child, hiked out to the suburbs, so yeah.
As you do. Well, yeah. This is very cool, Brian. So if people want to get more information and dig a little deeper, read a little bit more up on this sort of emerging space, for those who haven't been as in depth on it for as many years as you, and clearly your board has, where do they go? Where can they actually find the deck and crunch the numbers?
Yeah, so our deck will be on our website, Wellfield.io. And we're beginning to build out more public-facing content and educational pieces. MoneyClip, as an application layer brand, is positioning itself as a thought leader in DeFi and an advocate for the end user. And so for those who are really looking for the explain it like I'm five content for what is blockchain, etc., I hope that
would be me. That would be me.
MoneyClip in early next year, mid next year, we'll have more content for that. And then Seamless really is where the deep technology is. So we are building stuff that really is novel and exciting. Things like products that make Bitcoin compatible with DeFi for those who are crypto heads. and then products that enable cross-blockchain trading, fully decentralized, and then also some really cool ways to hedge risks in the decentralized capital markets, like impermanent losses, etc. If you want to get really deep and learn about topology, hiding, threshold cryptography, Seamless is the brand to look at.
Cool. I love this because you're educating at all levels. So that brings everybody, as I mentioned right off the hop, for those of us who were terrified at entering our credit card numbers on the internet years ago, and now we're finding it no problem to automatically one click buy something. There's a journey associated with that for many, and certainly when looking for places to invest. And really, I mean, the POS piece of this puzzle. I mean, so many of us can remember a time where you had to write a check or actually go physically to a bank, that's how old I am, to get money out. And now we just like go near something and it's like, did you want to buy that? Yes. You know, so I like this, this sort of Jetsons vibe that you're bringing to this particular business. And I know that kind of puts it in a first glance with Jody Vance, sort of under the heading of, because in this space, we try and make it accessible to all. And I love that you've created sort of layers for people who come at it from different levels. Please do come back and give us an update on where things are. Wellfield Technologies Inc., WFLD on the TSX Venture Exchange. Brian Locke is the CFO. Thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you, Jody. I appreciate it.